5-3. We are a winning football team. The LA Chargers have taken on the identity of Jim Harbaugh so quickly. It's great to hear pundits just questioning how on earth did the Chargers make this big turnaround with almost the same cast, especially on defense. It's pretty incredible. We dominated the Cleveland Browns, and let's talk about it a little bit more. Welcome back to another episode of the BuiBros Football Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Quinn Bowie, and I cheer for the LA Chargers, of course. Across from me, my brother Brandon.
And I cheer for the Minnesota Vikings. Woo, woo, woo. Yeah, okay. 5-3, matching the win total of last season. That's wild. In week 9, so halfway through the season, and you guys matched the total already, and you've already had your bye as well. So that is incredible. Go Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, huge point. But before we get into this, I need to give a shout out here. New merch. Boom.
Whoa.
Boom. What's up? Courtesy. This is actually my son's. But courtesy of my brother over there, Brandon, got the privilege to go down to LA, not for 1, but 2 games. You got to go see his Vikings take on the Rams, and then he also went to see the Chargers beat the New Orleans Saints.
Yes, it
pretty incredible. So got some nice gear from LA itself, from SoFi Stadium. It's awesome. Thank you so much for doing that for us.
No problem.
But yeah, let's get into it. That was last week. It is now this week. 27-10 dismantling of the Cleveland Browns. And similar to the Vikings, you know, the score doesn't really tell it all. We dominated even more than the score shows. Started right off the bat where, you know, we get a nice return. Darius Davis, our return specialist, wide receiver, came back from injury. Huge return, brought us down all the way to the 30, like within the first 5 minutes of that quarter. And wow, momentum's building. And we slowed down. First down doesn't really work. Second down, Herbert gets they get a big sack. The Browns get a big sack, and now it's 3rd and 21. It's like, wasted that opportunity. But somehow Josh Palmer gets wide open on Denzel Ward. He thought he had safety help back there. Josh Palmer gets wide open. Herbert finds him. It was quick. Bang, bang. Touchdown, wide open. Done. Seal the deal, 7-0.
Canadian! I was trying to find something Canadian around, but I don't have anything.
Canadian! Man, it's so good to see him a part of this offense. There were a lot of rumblings that he was falling out of favor with the coaching staff. With the emergence of Ladd McConkey, Q coming back from injury as well, and we'll get into his game soon too. But that was a nice way. You know, the first five or so minutes of that quarter really set the tone there. What was not working in the first half though were the sacks. I believe we gave up all 6 sacks in the first half.
Yeah, it was rough.
Myles Garrett tallied 3 in the first half.
After
this guy
not having any for 5 games too.
Yes,
it was
4.5 on the entire season.
Yeah.
And of course, he comes and dominates the Chargers O-line, and you know it's a point of contention right now because we have the bookends, right? We have some of the, and that's like some of the top priority when you come to looking for your offensive line. Obviously, your blind side, but you get your bookend tackles. I'm wondering if it's the center position. I know how big that is as well to really communicate the play and make sure the line is working in cohesion.
Whoa. It is
whoa.
It is not Bozeman's fault. That guy's a gangster.
Yes. Bradley Bozeman, absolute gangster for the game against the Saints. What a ridiculous play that was. And just came and took him out. Boss, absolutely. But you got to split You got to split like the play.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Okay.
You got me. You got me. You got me.
Looks like he
You got me.
protected Herbert pretty well.
He, after the fact that he could have been injured. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. But somehow the O-line is not working as a unit right now. And it's affecting the run game. It's obviously affecting the pass. Well, it's kind of affecting the pass game. In the last 3 weeks, Herbert has been outstanding. Coming out of the bye, he's been absolutely incredible, on fire. But Dobbins, he 14 carries, 85 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That is absolutely great. But when you watch the game, he broke off one big run. I think it was a 30-plus yard run. So that's a huge chunk of that, right? But it was an incredible day in the first half for the Chargers. Special teams, defense, we got touchdowns as well as an offense. Some things to clean up, absolutely. Protection for Herbert absolutely needs to be cleaned up. But again, our defense, outstanding. They shut Jameis Winston out almost the entire game. The only reason why the Browns got 10 points, Cedric Tillman got a late game touchdown there. And sure, garbage time when the defense is really trying to prevent the big play but keep and contain. Hey, it's going to happen. It's the NFL. These guys are NFL players too. Would we have liked to have a bigger differential? Of course. But that defense played absolutely lights out. 3 picks on Jameis Winston in the second half alone. And that's coming from rookie Tarheeb Still. This guy, all of a sudden, being thrust into a starting role with Asante Samuel Jr. hurt, with who else is hurt there? Kendall's hurt as well, and so now this rookie has to step in. He got the pick, but he also had this amazing tip drill to help an interception in the end zone as well. Got a game ball at the end of the day. Rookie corner coming in, playing with the big boys. Jameis Winston.
He was directly affected all 3 because he picked 2, right?
No, he only got 1.
I think you're wrong. I think he picked 2 and then tipped the third or tipped the second one or whatever it was.
Yeah, I'm looking at it.
You're looking at it? I feel like I watched him and I was like, oh, still again? Who got the other one? Okay, well.
No, yeah, anyway.
You keep going.
So Alohi Gilman, our safety, got it. Tarheeb Still got it. And then it was Elijah Molden, so the safety that we traded from. So Elijah Molden got the interception that was tipped from Tarheeb Still. And Alohi Gilman had the diving interception. I believe it was the second pick. Anyway, 3 picks, 6 overall sacks in the game. Incredible performance. We absolutely dominated. And then we get a blocked field goal as well. We had 2 incredible returns. It was an overall complete performance. Jim Harbaugh, I believe, was on Colin Cowherd's show, and he was talking about how it was his interview. Anyway, regardless, he was talking about how, yes, this was the most complete performance in many ways for the Chargers. And that's great to hear. Coming into the second half of the season, this is exactly what we want, right? We want to build this momentum. We want Herbert to start getting on fire. Greg Roman's supposed to be running the ball all the time. Yes, healthy dose of running. But we were dominating this game the entire times. J.K. Dobbins had 14 carries. Herbert only had to throw 27 times, but he completed 18 for 282 and 2 touchdowns. It was great. Kamani Vidal, 5 carries. Herbert had 3 himself, and Quentin Johnson had 1. So we barely hit, or just over 20 carries in a game that we were dominating. It seems like the offense is allowing Herbert to open up here, and now maybe we'll get to marry the first portion of the season with the heavy running presence and the success there. Now getting Herbert to cook. Hey, if we can bring that together with the defense hasn't allowed more than 20 points in a game this entire season.
That's crazy.
The only team to do that.
That's crazy.
That's incredible. And we've played like strong offensive teams.
Yeah.
And so like shout out to Jesse Minter, Jim Harbaugh for being able to bring him here. And as I mentioned, a huge point of this is that defense has a lot of the same pieces. Yes, there are rookies that are contributing right now, but again, they're rookies, right? It's the coaching. The coaching has turned this team, this unit around, and it's so fun to watch. 5-3, nearly like should have been 6-2. That Cardinals game was, it still drives me crazy. That 5 field goals. Cameron Dicker, the kicker, the best. He crushed it. I think he got me 20 plus points in fantasy. Told y'all. But we could have absolutely beat the Cardinals. But hey, it's in the past. We're going forward. We've dominated, and it's all thanks to Jim Harbaugh. In Harbaugh we trust. Jesse Minter, yes, Greg Roman as well. Herbert. It's the whole crew. And just to finish on a fun note, for people who don't listen to Colin Cowherd, I was watching the interview with him and Jim Harbaugh just yesterday, and he said, I always considered myself, me playing in the NFL, before I coached Herbert, I was the toughest quarterback the NFL ever saw. And now I have been supplanted, and Herbert is absolutely the toughest motherfucker out there. Paraphrasing. And it's true. Harbaugh also called out the lack of penalty calls on the aggression towards Herbert. It's a weird balancing game here. We hate some calls, but we like them when we get them.
Well, I don't know if this was going to be part of your thing, but I also heard Jim Harbaugh say that God be willing.
Yes.
That Justin Herbert is the last quarterback he ever coaches, which is pretty crazy.
God be willing, and the creeks don't rise, or the rivers don't rise.
Something like
I think
that,
is what
yeah.
he said. 100%.
Pretty cool.
When I heard that, yes, pretty cool. But it also makes me a bit nervous that it could be like a very short term.
Right. Yeah, that's not what he means, though. He means like.
No, I know, right? I know, but like that, my brain went both ways, but I'm with you. It's for the long term. Herbert's playing another 10, 15 years. Harbaugh's going to coach the same because he loves football. He loves Herbert, and these Chargers and the fans love them this season. This is so great. On to Tennessee, and we'll talk to you then. But thank you all so much for joining. If you do like what you're listening to, if you're an NFL fan, a Chargers fan, a Vikings fan, we want to build a community. Say hi in the comments. Subscribe. Like the video. Hit the notification bell. It really does help us out. And Brandon, send us off.
Skol Bolts.
Yeah, Skol Bolts.
Skol Bolts, baby. Okay. See everybody. Peace.